Hi Year 9 and welcome to this first lesson for Violin 2 of looking at blinding lights. You should have already seen the first lesson that's looking at the G natural minor scale, and that's what we're actually going to start off with today. The reason we're going to start off with it, we'll probably do this in a couple of the lessons, is because using a scale is a really helpful way of tackling some of the trickier rhythms that might crop up in the piece at a later time. So to start off with, can you get your instruments up and ready? And find your first note of the G natural minor scale. You might want to do that by climbing up from an open D. Remember, every first finger in this scale is low, so when you're counting up, make sure your first finger is low there as well. Okay, so first things first, let's just play the whole scale through as it's written on the screen. So it will go something like this. That sort of speed. Okay, so here we go after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back down. Very good. Now the rhythm that we're going to be looking at in a moment, I'll quickly show you actually. Some of you will recognise anyway, is this one here. And that's the rhythm, without even worrying about the Kadai sounds just yet, that's the rhythm that we are just going to have a quick look at in our scale, okay? So it's going to go something like this. Ti, ti, me, tay. Ti, ti, me, tay. Can you just try and play that rhythm for me on its own, on that first note of the scale? So I'll go first and then you go. Me first. 3, 4. Now you. G, 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 me. You. Brilliant. So now we're going to do the whole scale with that rhythm. So it'll go like this. All the way up and then all the way down. Okay? Find that first note again. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back down. And into rest position. Very good, well done. If you were still fumbling over it a little bit, then just take a few extra moments to have another look at it, because it will come in really handy now when we start looking at the music. Okay, so today we are just going to be looking at the intro, and then by proxy that will mean we'll also have covered the middle 8 section and the outro section of Blinding Lights for the Violin 2 part, because a lot of the material is the same, which is really good news. I love it when that happens. So if you look at the screen now, the music that we've got there is just for the intro. We can tell that obviously because it's written there, and that's to give us a bit of a hand. Now, unfortunately for us Violin 2s, it changes halfway through. So we're going to take this in chunks. We're going to look at the first 2 lines first, and then we'll look at the next 2 lines separately, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, as we always do with our practice routine, is we're going to try and Kadai the rhythms, and we're just going to go up to that red line there. We're not going to go beyond that, all right? Now, before I ask you to take some time to figure out the Kadai sounds, I've helped you out here by putting some of the more complicated ones up on the screen already. Now, this rhythm here is called a te, and it's because we've got a T, a quaver, tied to a crotchet. When something's tied together, when 2 notes that are the same are glued together, it means that we add together the values. So in this case, we've got the ta of 1 beat joined together to a T, half a beat, so the total is 1.5, and the Kadai sound for a sound that's 1.5 beats long is te. You might recognise it more here where we've got a dotted crotchet, which is just another way of writing it out. Okay, so there we have a 1.5 beat length te, and this whole bar here, in fact, is the rhythm that we were just looking at in the scale. So ti, me, te. So bearing that in mind, I want you to see if you can figure out the rest of the Kadai sounds from the start of the intro all the way up to that red line. Okay, take 20 seconds, off you go. Okay, let's see if we can say the Kadai sounds all together from the beginning. Okay, we'll do it twice, so don't worry if it doesn't go quite according to plan the first time. Here we go then, after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta, ti, 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 mi, te. Ta, ta, ti, 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 mi, te. Ti, 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 mi, te. Ti, 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 mi, ta, te. Good, well done if you managed it. Let's try that again together after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta, ti, 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 mi, te. Ta, ta, ti, 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 mi, te. Ti, 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 mi, te. Ti, 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 mi, ta, te. Really good, well done. I think the tricky one's here. Ti, 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 mi, ta, te. That's the trickiest one, I think, but very, very good job. Well done. Okay, so then the next challenge is to figure out what the notes are. Okay, and by now, by year 9, we should be fairly confident at guessing the notes, but if you're not quite sure, then always go back to remembering that we play on a G clef, which means that any note that is having that second line going through it is going to be a G, so we're starting on a G here. Now, before you get started, just a couple of things to look out for in this piece. Our key signature is telling us that every single B is going to become a B flat, and every single E is going to become an E flat. Now, because when we're saying things in rhythm, we don't have much time, it's easy to get kind of tongue twisted, really. We say Bess instead of B flat and S instead of E flat, just because it saves time. It's as simple as that. It's a German way of saying it that's quite common in orchestras. So bear that in mind. If you get to a B, remember it's a B flat, and therefore we would call it Bess. Okay, 20 seconds, off you go. Okay, let's see if we agree. There we go. So you can see how they're written along. If it's a B flat, I'd write it as Bess. If it's an E flat, I would write it as S. Okay, let's see if we can say the notes together in time after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. G, 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 Bess, S, G, 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 Bess, D, G, D, Bess, A, F, D, Bess, A, F, A. Good. I tried to emphasize this one here because even though this whole bar looks as though it's the same as the second bar, there's just one note difference. It's an S here or a D here. Let's do that one more time, and I'm going to play it along so we get a sense of what it sounds like. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. G, 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 Bess, S, G, 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 Bess, D, G, D, Bess, A, F, D, Bess, A, F, A. Very, very good. So now that we know what the notes are, we need to figure out how we would play them. So I would like you to take 20 seconds, please, to figure out which fingers we would need to use in order to achieve those notes. Off you go. Okay, let's see if we agree. Okay, so that's what we should have. Let's now try and say those numbers together. Again, I will play it so that we get a sense straight away. What I'd like you to do is not worrying about your right hand, get your instrument ready, and I want you to just mime along as we do it. So you're still saying the numbers. The most important thing is that you're saying the numbers, but see if you can have a go at miming them as well. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 3, 3, 3, 1, 1, 3. 3, 3, 3, 3, 1, 0, 3, 3, 1, 0, 2, 3, 1, 0, 2, 0. Good. I hope you were miming along there. Right, get your instruments ready because we're going to have a go at playing this now. We're going to break it down into a couple of little bits. So the first part I would like to look at is bar 2. Okay, so we're going to go from a D3 to A1 with our first finger low to D1 with our first finger low. So we're just going to go 3, 1, 1. Can you try and join me there? 3, 1, 1, and again. 3, 1, 1. One more time. 3, 1, 1. This time we're going to add a 3 at the end. Join in. 3, 1, 1, 3. Again. 3, 1, 1, 3. Final time. 3, 1, 1, 3. Good. So those are the notes. Now we just need to think about the rhythm. So we're going 3, 1, 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 3. Join in. 3, 1, 1, 3. And again. 3, 1, 1, 3. Bit faster. Here we go. Join in. 3, 1, 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 3. Excellent. Really good job. Now I'm going to jump straight to bar 4. I had to think then. Bar 4. Where the only difference is we go to an open D instead of D1. So it should sound now like this. 3, 1, 0, 3, 3, 1, 0, 3. Join in. 3, 1, 0, 3. And again. 3, 1, 0. One more time. 3, 1, 0, 3. Fantastic. And the bars that we haven't covered, bar 1 and 3, are the same. Okay, as in are the same as one another. So it should sound like this. Let's see if we can play that whole bar together, shall we? After 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. And you'll notice that I start each of the odd bars, so bar 1 and bar 3, with a down bow followed by another down bow. So I basically do a little bit of a retake after the first note. Down, retake, down. Then again, down, retake, down. Okay, let's just try that first line with that bowing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, retake. Down, retake, down. Excellent. Now on to line 2. Rhythm is very similar to bar 2. Okay, so can we just look at the notes first of all? Can we play 3? So 3 fingers on the A string, followed by low 1, followed by O, followed by D2. Let's just try and play those together. Join in with me. 3, 4. 3, 1, open, D2. And again, 3, low 1, open, D2. Excellent. Now let's change the rhythm. So we're going. Now you. And again. One more time. Excellent. Now the last time we do it, all we have to do is add an open A on the end. So those 2 bars together should go like this. Let's try that together, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Really good job. So then we need to be able to put those 2 lines together. Okay? Have your instrument up and ready, and just get ready to mime along one more time so that you are just preparing for it, and then we'll play it through. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down and down. Mime along. Okay, hope you were miming along that time. This time it's the real deal. Let's try and play it. So find your first note. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Retake. Retake. And into rest position. Good job, well done. So that's the first half of the intro covered. Now we need to look at the second half of the intro, which starts here at figure A. All right. And the first thing I'd like us to do is to think about the Kadai sounds again. We're ignoring for now, in fact I'll show you, we're ignoring those funny notes there, but we've got quite a few tied notes, and I just wanted to explain how they work when they're not just a te. So remember, a tied note is when we've got two notes that are the same pitch, super glued together by this curved line, and it means that we only play the first one and then we end up holding it on for the combined length of those notes. And the way we would Kadai that, the way I'd like us to Kadai that, is to imagine that the tie isn't there. So if the tie wasn't there, we would have ta followed by tu. So normally, if there was no tie, it would be ta tu. However, because there is a tie, we need to make sure we only have one start to the note. So what we're going to do is when it gets to the tu, we're going to ignore the t at the start of tu. I hope I'm making sense here. So it will sound like this. Ta u. So we're still kind of saying the Kadai sound, but we're ignoring the start of it. Okay, I'll show you that again. Ta u. Okay, there is another one. There are another two actually. So this one, first of all, is a little bit more complicated because we've actually got three different notes tied together. So if we didn't have those ties, it would go ti ta tu. But we do have the ties, so instead it's ti u, because we're ignoring the t. That's why it's in brackets. Okay, and the other one is here. Normally it would be ti ta, but this time it's ti ya. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I know it's a bit of a new concept to grasp for this, but just take 20 seconds and see if you can figure out what the rest of the Kadai sounds are so that we can have a go at saying these Kadai sounds. Off you go. Kadai sounds are so that we can have a go at saying these Kadai sounds. Off you go. Okay, let's have a go together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta u, ti 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 a u, tu tu ta te ti a ta. Good. So you'll notice I've only included the Kadai sounds for the complicated new ones. We should have recognised that this is a te, and the rest of them we should know. Let's just try it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta u, ti 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 a u, tu tu ta te ti a ta. Good, excellent. So then the next stage, of course, is to figure out the notes, remembering that we've got B flats and E flats. So if you find a B, it's a bess, and if you find an E, it's an S. Okay, 20 seconds, off you go. Okay, let's see if we agree. That's what we should have there. I haven't included that last note because I think you can figure it out. It's just the same as that one. Let's see if we can say them together. And as before, I'm actually going to play it, so we're straight away getting a sense of what it should sound like. Here we go, starting on a G. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. G, F, G, G, S, F, D, S, Bess, F. Good, lots of really, really long notes, so lots of so we just have to kind of bear with it there. Really good job. Okay, so how do we actually play those notes? Can you please take 20 seconds to figure out the numbers we need to add? Off you go. All right, let's see if we agree. Those are the numbers we should have. Okay, so as before, can we please try and say the numbers as I play them? And as we did for the first half, get your instrument ready and try and mime along. Don't worry if it doesn't go according to plan, but it's worth having a go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 1. 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2. Very good. Okay, so this time, let's try and piece it together. Okay, so the first thing I would like to do is to look at what I think is the most awkward bit, which are these 4 notes here. All right, and I want us to see if we can play them with some quite complicated bowing, but I reckon you're up to the challenge. So we're going to go up, up, down. The majority of the time, although there is an exception in this piece, but the majority of the time, if we have a long note, we'd prefer to have it on a down bow. Okay, so bear that in mind. So in order to achieve that, we're going to go up, up, down. Okay, so it just means you have to kind of do a reverse retake almost. Up, 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 like that. Up, up, down. Can we just try that? So find that second finger. Remember, it's second finger close. So find that. Okay, and let's just try it like this. Up, up, down. 2, 3. Up, up, down. And again, go. Up, up, down. Fantastic. This time, let's try and hold the last note for the correct amount of time. 1, 2, 3. Up, up, down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Really long, so slow bows here because it's a really, really long note. All of them are, okay? So from letter A, it should go like this, a little bit faster now. It should go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, off, up, up, down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, off. Let's try that together, shall we? From letter A, let's give it a go. Find that first note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, off, up, up, down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Excellent. And then the lowest line, all you need to remember is that your second finger, we're not stretching. So we go D2, open D, G2. Can we just try that? 2, 2, join in, and 2, 2. One more time. Excellent. So now let's do it in rhythm. We're going to go 2, 2, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2. One more time, and excellent. And then the bit afterwards simply is first finger back to 2. So it's going to go up, down, off, down. So up, down, and then a retake down on the last note. Can we try that whole of that last line? Just listen to me play it first. It's going to go like this. Down, up, down, up, down, retake down. Okay, let's have a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, retake. Really good. You're doing some really quite challenging music here, so don't worry if it's taking a little bit of time. As I said, as the slide said at the beginning of the video, just pause and rewind if there are some things you need to go over. Okay, let's try and do the whole of the second half of that intro now. I'm going to play it to you once, and again, I want you to try and mime along. Now that you're a bit more familiar with it, it should feel a bit easier, okay? So from figure A, find that first note, but just mime. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 1, and 2, 2, 1, 2, Good. Now your turn to join in with me. Here we go. Find your first note. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Up, up, down. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, off, down. Really good. Now there's just one final thing that we need to look at before we start putting this intro together, and that is these funny things here in the boxes. They're quite fast. The Kadai sound for both of those groups of 4 is teka teka, teka teka. Okay, so in each case, it'll go 1, 2, 3, teka teka. And in each case, they join on to the following note. Okay, so let's just take them one at a time. I've already written in the fingering for you because it isn't easy. Okay, let's just take this one first. So on your open D string, I want you to find that first note, which is D2. And from there, I want you to go 2, 3, 4. And you need to really stretch your little finger. There needs to be a gap there because your little finger needs to go where your open A would normally be used. It's the same note. It's exactly the same note. Okay, so it needs to be a stretch. So let's try that. I'll play it first, you play it back. So I'll go 2, 3, 4. Now you. Now me. Now you. Good, now me. You. Me. You. It's like Frere Jacques. Bit faster. You. Me. You. Good. And then we need to try and join them in one bow. So the quicker you can move your fingers, the better, because it's going to go like this. 2, 3. So we're carrying on to the next note. So it goes 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Okay. So let's just try this a few times. I'll go first, then you. So I'll go 1, 2, 3. Now you. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Now me. Now you. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Now me. Now you. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Now me. Now let's rest there. The quicker you can do it, the better. If you're struggling to get it up to speed, then the trick in terms of practicing is to play them in rhythms. So we would do this. So we're going long, short, long, short, long. Can we try that? Join in. Long, short, long, short, long. Again. Long, short, long, short, long. Then we would reverse it and we would go short, long, short, long, short. Like that. Da, 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 da. Join in. Again. And then when you go back to doing it normally, it should feel a bit more comfortable. Try it again. Join in. One more time. Really good. Okay. So now, let's look at the next one, which is exactly the same rhythm, but we have to cross strings. So we're starting on G2, and we're going 2, 3, 0, 1, and our first finger is low. So can we just try in separate bows, going 2, 3, 0, 1, you, 2, 3, 0, 1, me, you, 2, 3, 0, 1, me, you, 2, 3, 0, 1, me, 2, 3, 0, 1. Good, now let's join them together. So we'll go 2, 3, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 0, 1, here we go. Ring again. And then we need to add on the following note, which is D2. So this time it will go like this. Let's try it. 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, again. 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 Really good. So when we put that together, if I count from the red line, it should go like this. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, off, up, up, down. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, off. okay? So let's try and play from the red line all together, okay? Get your instruments up, find that second finger. So we're ready. Start with your bow on the string so you're not wasting any time. Ready? After 3, and a 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, off, up, up, down. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, off. 2, 3, 4, off. Excellent, well done. Okay, so then we can start to put the whole intro together. And I've put all of the numbers there that we've already learnt. So it should just be a case of practicing this over and over again until it feels familiar. Let's just see if we can play it through. I'm going to play it through once and I want you to mime along and then we'll play it together and then you can go off and practice it. So here I go. Get you ready to mime along. Starting on 3. 1, 2, 3, and... 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 1, 2, off. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, off. 2, 3, 4, 1, off. Good, okay. Join in with me this time. Find that first note. Let's see if we can play this. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, off. 2, 3, 4, 1. And into rest position. Really good job. Now, once you've learnt this intro, let me show you what else you've learnt. There's a middle 8 section here. Well, that's exactly the same as the second half of the intro, so you've already learnt that, which is great. And there's an outro right at the end of the piece. Well, that's exactly the same as the first half of the intro, so we've learnt that already as well. So what you need to do now is go on to Kinteract, and there are different versions of the recording of Blinding Lights, and they are split into different tempos, and that's BPM, beats per minute. So the fastest one, the one that we're all aiming for, is 160 BPM. But then there's a slower one there for 130 BPM, which is about the tempo that we were just playing. And then there's an even slower one at 90 BPM for if you just want to try and play it through, but at a really manageable tempo. So choose the tempo that you think best suits where you're at with it, and try and practice along to that for the intro. The intro is the first thing we hear, so it'll be right there at the start of the track. And see if you're able to keep going and play without hesitation. And then when you've done that, you are ready for the next video, which will look at the different verses, okay? So take your time with it, try it along to the backing track, and I'll see you for the next video.